The conflict is what forces the character to develop. When they walk through the door of the inciting incident where they can't walk back out of it, that is a moment of change. It's a moment of decision. And when our moment of decision for creating stuff becomes, let me just run to this tool and have it do it for me and remove all the conflict, and then I get the result, that, I think, is a dangerous path. What's up, team? Good morning. Out here walking, sun's coming up, it's beautiful. I didn't sleep last night. Slept like 2 hours and 15 minutes according to my watch. And every time I would close my eyes, I would just see these frameworks. I had a fever yesterday, and ever since that fever, it's just been like an endless amount of creative ideas and things that I want to make, and places I want to take my business and my brand. And so I didn't sleep. Every time I would fall asleep, I would dream in frameworks and ideas. And I would have to wake up and write them down. And while I was waking up, writing these ideas down, I almost felt this urgency to, map it out and make sure everything was what it needed to be and fleshed out and complete and ready to go. And I think that urgency is coming from the development of tools like ChatGPT and things like this. And I think the tendency is to just run to ChatGPT, run to AI, and have it completely finish your idea. Here's the seed of my idea. Here's the seed of my framework. Here's the seed of this thing I want to create. Now you go build it, flesh it out, make it bigger so that I can then come in and finish it. I think that's a flow that a lot of people are falling into, and I've done it too. And I think that is a dangerous trap. And the reason I say that is because there's value in sitting down with your laptop, with your computer, whatever, or with a notepad and a pen, and writing through a problem, thinking through a problem. For example, I'm putting on a workshop this week in a couple days, and all the things that came through last night are going to completely change what I'm going to talk about. And so now I have to go figure out what stories I need to put along with these new frameworks so that I can get people excited about them, so that they can get it. Because we all know that story creates belief, it creates excitement, and it draws people in. So I got to go and rewrite some of the stuff that's in my workshop, and I have to place these in there. And I'm just going to go do that. I'm going to sit down with a computer and I'm going to write what I'm going to say, what I'm going to talk about, and how the framework's going to fit. I'm going to write those things. It's a big hill coming up there. So there's value to be found. I don't like saying struggle, because I think that's more of a choice. Struggle is more of a choice. It's more like the conflict of a story. When we remove the conflict of the story becomes boring. And if you think about epic movies, like Lord of the Rings, I talk about that a lot on this channel, or any movie, any movie series, any big epic series, whatever. The conflict is what forces the character to develop. When they walk through the door of the inciting incident where they can't walk back out of it, that is a moment of change. It's a moment of decision. And when our moment of decision for creating stuff becomes, let me just run to this tool and have it do it for me and remove all the conflict, and then I get the result, that, I think, is a dangerous path. Not because we need like the conflict, but because we need the conflict. So when you think about it, AI kind of solves one of the biggest problems that I see with creatives and with myself as being a creative, is that I have no problems with ideas. I can put ideas, and I previously had notes full of ideas, and then when ChatGPT came online, I had a ChatGPT scroll full of ideas, and they still just sat there. But in my mind, they felt complete because I had a complete idea, an execution, even outcomes of what it would be like if I launched this thing. That's the problem. So in theory, it solves the problem of producing and actually making something in the real world, but it doesn't actually make it exist in the real world. It just feels like it does. And again, I'm not trying to like slam AI or anything. That's not what I'm doing. I think that's kind of a pointless thing to do because it's coming no matter what. But my point here, my call to action for you today, there's like a disc golf course out here. That's what I'm leaning on. My call to action for you today, on this morning where the sun's coming up slow and there's a cool nip in the air out here in this field, is to embrace the conflict that comes naturally after you enter into a story. And so for you and your work, if you really, really care about putting your best work into the world, then you have to start caring about embracing the conflict and the full cycle of the story. And this is true, like AI aside, right? Like it's not just because of AI that's the problem. It's always been part of the problem. That's one of the reasons why I created the Thriving Creative Workshop and Resilient Creative to begin with, is because we enter into a story when we decide that we're going to create stuff and make stuff for a living. We entered into that story, we made that decision. Now, what naturally happens is the same thing that happens to any character in a story that accepts the call to adventure. They get thrust in to conflict. As Myron Golden likes to put it, disruption always follows intention. So if we remove any possibility of disruption in our mind, we will come to expect the lack of conflict and the lack of disruption. And my friend, that's just not how it works. So that's my call for you today. That's my call to adventure for you who is out here trying to make stuff for a living, trying to help people and make stuff that matters and create an incredible body of work. If that's you, then embrace the conflict. You're in a story, so it's naturally going to come. But that doesn't mean that you stop. In fact, it means the opposite of that. It means you keep going through that conflict if you want to complete the quest. So anyway, just had that thought this morning. Wanted to share with you guys. Love y'all. Have a good rest of the week.